Okay, so we're diving into all this amazing info about guest speakers and events.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm blown away by how these experts, especially in guest speaker success, they just make it so clear that live events, they're not just presentations anymore. They're about creating like a whole experience.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't want to feel that energy of like a sold out concert, but for their business, you know?
Totally. It is interesting how we get that backstage pass with these sources.
Yeah.
You know, we only see the show as attendees.
Yeah.
But here in this deep dive, we get to like peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of behind the scenes, one of the most interesting things I found was that whole financial arrangement they talked about.
Yeah.
The 50-50 net revenue share.
Right.
Like, it makes sense logically, but I can't help but wonder about those what ifs. You know? What if ticket sales are slower than expected?
Yeah.
Is there even a plan B in this world?
That's a really good question because the whole thing hinges on both sides. You know, really bringing it.
Mm-hmm.
The speaker needs to wow the audience. And the host, they've got to nail the marketing, getting people in the door, and then obviously all the logistics.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And that high-stakes pressure, that's got to be why the book emphasizes aiming for those offers of like $2,000 or more.
Wow.
Because it's about maximizing returns, you know, to justify that shared risk.
$2,000 a head. That's a whole other level of commitment from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh yeah, I'll show up to this webinar during my lunch break. This is an investment.
Yeah, you're invested.
So it's clearly about way more than just the speaker showing up. It's this whole production designed to deliver an experience that truly justifies that price tag.
Exactly. And, you know, that kind of leads to another key idea that stood out to me.
Yeah, what's that?
The art of selling the next session, especially during those multi-day events.
Yeah.
The book stresses that each segment should be like its own mini sales pitch.
Interesting.
Building anticipation, preventing people from getting tired or bored.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, totally. I've been to those events where it's like day one is amazing and then day two, you've lost me.
Yeah, you're checked out.
So how do these organizers keep that momentum going?
It's really about understanding how we think as humans.
Yeah.
You know, exceeding expectations, not just meeting them.
Okay.
Imagine you're at this business conference.
Okay.
And each session ends with this thought-provoking question. Or maybe a little teaser for the next day's keynote speaker.
Ooh, sneaky.
Suddenly you're not just sitting there passively listening.
Yeah.
You're hooked. You're invested. You're part of the experience.
It makes you feel like you're part of something bigger, too.
Absolutely.
And it ties back into what we were saying earlier about value not just being about the information itself. It's the whole package.
The whole experience.
The networking, the atmosphere, that feeling of connection.
And speaking of bigger picture thinking, Johann Nogueira's chapter.
Yes.
His perspective is so fascinating because he's both an entrepreneur and a tech investor.
He's got that unique perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So his insights on success in the age of AI, super relevant.
Absolutely. And his one deal philosophy that really got me thinking.
That's a good one.
It challenges like our whole definition of success.
It does. You're not chasing every single opportunity that comes your way.
Right.
You're laser focused on finding that one key connection that could change everything.
This is so true.
The example he uses is Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
And that crucial call he made to Mercedes-Benz back in 2009.
Wow.
That single connection.
Phone call.
Changed the trajectory of Tesla.
Wow, that's incredible.
And what Nogueira suggests is that AI can actually help us pinpoint these key connections.
Oh, interesting.
Instead of, you know, those chance encounters, hoping for the best.
Right, just randomly bumping into someone.
Exactly. This way, it's intentional. It's about maximizing those relationships.
Being strategic with your networking.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he's all about blending those traditional relationship building skills with the newest AI tools.
Oh, so it's not one or the other.
Not at all. It's about using them together.
That makes a lot of sense.
So, for instance, he talks about platforms like Comet Suite.
Okay.
They analyze your communication patterns to identify the people you know who are most likely to align with your goals.
So it's like a supercharged matchmaking service, but for business?
Yeah. You could say that.
I like it.
But it's not just about business deals either.
Yay.
He talks about SpaceX.
Okay.
And how AI can be used to achieve all sorts of ambitious goals across different fields.
So it's really about using technology as a tool to enhance our human potential.
Exactly.
Not to replace us.
Exactly. We're not becoming obsolete.
Not yet, at least.
Right.
Okay. Well, this has been super insightful, but let's switch gears for a minute and talk about Carolyn Apostolo's work, specifically on burnout and well-being in the workplace.
Yeah.
I think her insights are so relevant right now.
Absolutely. Burnout is everywhere.
It really is.
And you know what I find really refreshing about her approach?
What's that?
She frames burnout as a systemic issue, not just a personal problem.
Oh, interesting.
It's not just about, oh, you work too hard. It affects workplaces, obviously, but also the economy, even society as a whole.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's bigger than just us as individuals.
And she uses a case study, right?
She does. It's a law firm.
Okay.
Dealing with widespread burnout among the employees.
Oh, gosh.
And the signs she mentions, the fatigue,
right,
the emotional detachment, the drop in productivity.
You can just feel it as like this heavy weight.
It is. And it impacts everyone.
For sure.
Not just the individuals.
Right. It becomes this collective problem.
Exactly. And you need a collective solution.
Which is where Apostolous three-pronged strategy comes in.
It's a good one.
Recognizing those burnout symptoms early on, shifting the entire workplace culture,
right,
and then equipping people with self-care tools.
Yeah, giving them the resources to take care of themselves.
And I thought her example about hydration was so simple, yet so powerful.
Something we all take for granted.
I know, I do.
Right? Like, how much water did you drink today?
Probably not enough. But she makes this point that even these small, consistent actions, like staying hydrated, can make a world of difference in how we feel and how we show up.
Our energy levels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she even gives a specific recommendation.
1 liter by 11 a.m.
1 liter by 11.
Yeah.
I like that. It's specific.
It is. It's measurable.
I'm going to try that.
You should.
I feel like we get so caught up in the hustle and bustle.
Oh, totally.
We forget to take care of ourselves. We forget those basic things.
Self-care is not a luxury.
No, it's not. It's an investment.
Exactly. In our well-being and ultimately in our success.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of success, let's talk about Russell Voss's chapter.
Okay.
Facing hard truths in relationships.
Yeah.
Now, this might seem like a bit of a shift from talking about events and AI and burnout.
It does seem like a jump.
But relationships are the foundation of everything.
Absolutely. And Voss gets that.
Yeah.
He starts with this scenario that I think will resonate with a lot of our listeners.
Okay.
Imagine you're at the top of your game, crushing it in your career.
You're killing it.
And then bam, divorce papers.
Oh, wow.
It's like a punch to the gut.
It is.
And it's a reminder that even when things seem perfect on the surface, there might be cracks in the foundation.
Absolutely.
And Voss doesn't let us off easy with these tough questions.
No, he doesn't.
He asks, have you missed the warning signs in your own life?
Ooh.
Are you ignoring those silent alarms?
Those are good questions to ask yourself.
They are.
Yeah.
It can be uncomfortable.
Oh, for sure.
But it's necessary.
Absolutely.
It's about being honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
And taking responsibility for our own happiness.
Now, he does outline some of those common red flags, right?
He does.
Intimacy issues, financial strain, communication breakdowns.
Right. Those are the big ones.
But he doesn't leave us there in despair.
No, not at all.
He emphasizes that when these challenges are addressed head on,
with honesty and courage,
they can actually become opportunities for growth.
Absolutely.
For building a stronger, more fulfilling relationship.
Which is ultimately what we all want.
Exactly.
And, his background.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, right?
He's done it all. Crisis intervention, energy healing, social work.
It's a lot.
It is. But it speaks to his deep understanding of human connection.
Yeah.
And the complexities of relationships.
So it's not just theory with him.
Not at all. He's been there. He's helped countless others navigate these challenges.
He gets reassuring.
Right.
Speaking of navigating challenges, let's dive into Scott Baker's work on social proof and testimonials.
It's an important one.
It really is.
People underestimate the power of social proof.
They do.
But Baker gets it.
Yeah.
He goes beyond just those surface-level star ratings.
Yep.
He understands the strategic value of testimonials for building trust and growing a business.
Right, because people trust other people.
Exactly. They want to hear from real people.
It's like word of mouth, but online.
Exactly. And he gives us this practical 4-step framework.
Oh, tell me more about this.
Okay, so first, you've got to identify those hidden gems within your existing reviews.
The hidden gems.
Yes. The specific phrases, the anecdotes, that truly capture the essence of what you offer.
Okay.
Then you craft this compelling brand image that aligns with those positive sentiments.
So you're using their words to shape how people see you.
Exactly. You're letting your customers speak for you.
Oh, I like that.
Right. And then you showcase those authentic voices across all your marketing channels.
So it's not just on your website.
No way. It's on social media, in your presentations, even in your email marketing.
Wow, it's everywhere.
Everywhere. And then finally, you repurpose those hidden gems
Okay.
into eye-catching visuals.
Oh, that's smart.
Right, because people are visual.
They are. We're bombarded with content all the time.
You got to stand out.
Make it pop.
Exactly.
Okay, that's brilliant. I love it.
It's all about making those testimonials impossible to ignore,
Okay.
turning customer feedback into a powerful marketing asset.
Okay. Speaking of assets,
Yeah?
let's move on to Rob Flux and his insights on property.
Oh, this is a good one.
It is, especially in this economy.
People are always looking for ways to build wealth.
Exactly. And Flux offers a really interesting alternative to those traditional buy and hold strategies.
He does. He's all about taking control, manufacturing profit.
Okay, tell me more.
So it's not just about buying low and selling high. It's about adding value through strategic renovations,
Okay.
subdivisions,
Right.
multi-residential projects.
So you're actively creating something.
Exactly.
Right.
You're in the driver's seat.
Okay, like that.
And he's a big proponent of starting small,
Okay.
learning the ropes,
Mm-hmm.
and then gradually scaling up your portfolio.
So you're not jumping into the deep end right away.
No way. You're dipping your toes in first,
Okay.
getting comfortable with the process,
Right.
and then you can start taking on bigger projects.
And he emphasizes market research.
Oh, absolutely.
That's key. You got to know your numbers.
Right. So he encourages this data-driven approach.
Okay.
Identify those suburbs where similar developments have already been successful.
So you're looking for those proven models.
Exactly.
They're not reinventing the wheel.
Right. Learn from those who have come before you.
Less risk that way.
Exactly. And you know what I love about his approach?
What's that?
He provides a clear roadmap.
Oh, tell me more about this.
He calls it his property development formula,
Okay.
and it guides you through every step of the process.
That's so helpful.
It is. From identifying those profitable opportunities to conducting due diligence,
Right.
even navigating the complexities of financing and construction.
That's amazing because those are the parts that can feel really overwhelming,
Oh, absolutely.
especially for someone who's just starting out.
It can be intimidating, but Flux breaks it down into manageable steps.
So you're not just thrown into the deep end.
Exactly. You've got a lifeline.
Okay, I love that.
Speaking of lifelines,
Yes.
let's move on to Pauline Martin-Brooks.
Okay. The partnerships queen. She's amazing.
She is. She's all about strategic collaboration.
Yes.
But here's the thing.
What's that?
It's not just about networking
Okay.
or transactional deals.
Okay.
She's all about those genuine win-win partnerships.
It's got to be mutually beneficial.
Exactly.
Otherwise, what's the point?
Right.
Okay, so tell me more about her approach.
So she really stresses that the most successful partnerships, they're built on shared values, complementary offerings.
Right. Your strengths complement each other.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this genuine desire to see each other succeed.
I love it. It's like you're both in each other's corners cheering each other on.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's a true partnership.
And she breaks down those different types of partnerships, right?
She does affiliate marketing, traditional partnerships, joint ventures. And she explains, the nuances of each one.
Right, because they're important distinctions.
There are. And you got to choose the right model for your specific situation.
Makes sense. And what about that lead magnet funnel?
Oh, that's a good one. That's all about attracting ideal partners.
Oh, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
It's about creating valuable resources that showcase your expertise
Okay.
and attract the right opportunities to you.
So you're not out there chasing people down.
No, you're creating a magnet,
I love that.
right? People come to you
Okay.
because they see the value you offer.
So you're positioning yourself as the go-to person.
Exactly. And you know what else?
What's that?
She's not a fan of free consultations.
Really?
No, she thinks they're not scalable,
Okay.
and they often undervalue the expertise you bring to the table.
Right, because your time and knowledge are valuable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about shifting that mindset from scarcity to abundance.
Abundance. I love that. Okay, and last but certainly not least,
Yes.
Jane Slacksmith.
Oh, what a story.
Incredible journey from working in underground coal mines
Could you imagine?
becoming this multi-award-winning entrepreneur.
It's mind-blowing.
It really is. Her story is a testament to the power of, well, everything. Belief, perseverance, courage.
Resilience.
Oh, absolutely. Especially starting her career as one of the first women to work in underground coal mines in New South Wales.
Wow. Talk about a tough industry.
It's incredible. And she faced so much adversity.
Yeah.
gender bias, challenging work conditions.
But she didn't let it stop her.
She didn't. She persevered. And it's not just about overcoming obstacles. It's about how those experiences shaped her.
Shaped her perspective on success.
Exactly. And you can see that in her career trajectory.
From mining engineer to property investor to personal growth expert.
It's amazing. It's like she took those analytical skills from engineering.
That risk assessment.
Yes.
And applied it to completely different fields.
Exactly. And you know what I find really inspiring is her evolution.
Oh, yeah.
From focusing solely on financial success to embracing this more holistic approach that includes personal growth, spiritual development, and what she calls the science of success.
Because true wealth isn't just about money.
It's about so much more.
It's about living a life of purpose.
Alignment.
Making a positive impact.
Yes. And that brings us to Martin Renaud.
The AV guru.
He's the best.
He is. He opens our eyes to this world.
That most of us just take for granted.
Completely.
Yeah.
We walk into an event and expect things to just work.
Right. The lights, the sound, the visuals.
But Renaud pulls back the curtain.
And shows us the magic.
Exactly. And how important those details are.
And he emphasizes that even the most amazing speaker with the most incredible content can completely fall flat if the AV is bad.
Oh, totally. It can make or break an event.
Oh, absolutely. He tells the story about a speaker who relied on the hotel's sound system.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine? It was a disaster.
I can only imagine the feedback.
Oh, it was bad. People actually walked out.
I don't blame them.
I know. It's like the ultimate nightmare for a speaker.
It really is. But Renaud doesn't just highlight the potential pitfalls.
No, he does.
He gives us solutions.
That's what I love about him. He's all about practical advice.
Exactly. He breaks down the essential components of event AV.
Okay.
Starting with microphones.
Of course, the unsung heroes of events.
They really are. He talks about the different types.
Headset, lavalier, handheld.
Exactly. And when to use each one for maximum impact.
I never knew there was so much to it.
Oh, yeah. There's a science to it.
And he also dives into lighting design.
Lighting is everything.
It sets the mood.
Exactly. And he says it's not just about making sure people can see.
Right.
It's about creating ambiance. Highlighting key moments.
Yeah.
Even evoking specific emotions.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
It's powerful stuff. He talks about this technique called ballyhoo.
Ballyhoo.
Yeah. It's specifically used to spotlight someone walking onto a stage.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right? It's like this grand entrance.
I love it.
It's all about those little details.
And that make a big difference.
Exactly.
And of course he talks about video production.
Oh, of course. We're in a visual world.
Right.
And it's not just about capturing the event itself.
Right.
It's about creating shareable content.
Extending the life of the event.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can repurpose that footage for social media, for marketing materials.
It's like getting extra mileage out of your event.
Exactly. And you know what else he talks about?
What's that?
Portable AV kits.
Oh, that's smart.
Especially for speakers and entrepreneurs who are always on the go.
Right, because you never know where you're going to be.
Exactly. So it's like having a professional studio in a suitcase.
Ready to go at a moment's notice.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, and since we're talking about being adaptable and prepared, let's transition to Timothy Carroll.
Okay.
And his insights on the importance of presence in leadership.
This is a good one.
It is, because it's something that we all struggle with.
Especially in today's world.
Right. It's like we're constantly on the go.
Always connected.
Our minds are racing.
It's exhausting.
It is.
Yeah.
And Carroll gets that. He starts by acknowledging these common struggles that leaders face.
Feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Lacking control.
Yes.
Struggling to find that work-life balance.
It's so real.
It is. And he argues that the key to overcoming these challenges and unlocking our leadership potential is cultivating a deeper sense of presence.
Being present in the moment.
Exactly. And he uses this really cool example from his own life.
Oh, tell me about it.
So he used to be a competitive barefoot water skier.
Wow. Okay. That's impressive.
I know, right?
I can barely walk and chew gum at the same time.
Right. But anyway, he was competing in this tournament. And during his first run, he was totally in the zone. He nailed it. Effortlessly.
Nice.
But then during the second run, he started overthinking. And he fell.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a powerful example of how our internal state, our thoughts, our emotions can directly impact our external results.
I believe it.
And it highlights the importance of quieting those thoughts.
Right.
Cultivating focus.
So it's not just about what we do. It's about how we show up.
Exactly. It's about being present.
And he talks about meditation and mindfulness, right?
Does. He's a big advocate for those practices.
As tools for developing that presence.
Exactly. And he emphasizes that meditation.
Yeah.
It's not about emptying your mind completely,
right,
which can feel impossible.
It does.
It's about learning to observe your thoughts without judgment.
Like clouds passing by.
Exactly. Just noticing them and letting them go.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Right.
Because I always thought of meditation as like this thing where you had to have a completely blank mind.
Yeah, a lot of people think that.
But it's not about that at all.
It's about awareness.
Okay.
And being present with whatever arises.
And he gives really practical advice for establishing a meditation practice.
He does. He says start small.
Okay.
Even just 5 minutes a day.
5 minutes, I can do that.
Exactly.
What?
And gradually increase the duration as you become more comfortable.
It's about building that consistency.
Exactly. And you know what?
That
idea of consistency is a recurring theme in so many of these sources.
It is. It's like the secret sauce.
I think so.
Whether we're talking about business relationships, personal growth.
It all comes down to consistency.
Those small daily actions.
Compounded over time.
That's how you achieve those extraordinary results.
Absolutely. It's not about luck.
It's about showing up day after day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Even when it's hard.
Especially when it's hard.
That's how you build resilience.
That's how you build character.
That's how you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. And you know what?
What's that?
I think it's time for a break.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll come back and unpack even more wisdom from these incredible sources.
Sounds good to me.
So we're back, ready to dive into more of these insights.
Yeah, before the break we were talking about Timothy Carroll and that whole idea of presence.
Right, being present in the moment.
It really got me thinking about how often I get caught up in just doing.
Oh, totally. The to-do list never ends.
Exactly, and I forget to just be present.
It's so easy to get swept up in the chaos.
It is. And I love how Carroll doesn't just point out the problem. He actually offers solutions.
Right. He gives us tools.
Like meditation.
Yeah. Meditation can be a game changer.
I'll be honest, I've always been a little intimidated by meditation.
I get it. It seems kind of mysterious and complicated.
Right, like how do you actually do it?
But Carroll does a good job of breaking it down.
He does.
He emphasizes that it's not about emptying your mind completely.
Which honestly sounds impossible.
Totally. Our minds are like wild monkeys.
Exactly.
Always swinging from thought to thought.
So how do you actually meditate then?
Carroll says it's about learning to observe those thoughts without judgment.
Okay.
Like watching clouds drift by.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Right. You don't try to stop the clouds.
You just notice them.
Exactly. You let them come and go.
Without getting carried away by them.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Right. It's about awareness, not about forcing your mind to be blank.
And Carroll suggests starting small.
5 minutes a day.
5 minutes. Even I can do that.
Exactly. And as you get more comfortable,
you can gradually increase it.
Precisely.
It's about building that consistency.
Always.
Which seems to be a theme in all of these sources.
It's the common thread.
Whether we're talking about business or relationships or personal growth.
Consistency is key.
It's about those small daily actions.
That add up over time.
And ultimately lead to those big results.
Exactly. Speaking of which, let's circle back to Russell Voss and his work on relationships.
Okay, yes. His concept of those silent alarms has really stuck with me.
It's such a powerful metaphor.
It is, because it's so easy to ignore those little signs.
Especially when we're busy.
Right, we push them down.
We tell ourselves it's not a big deal.
But those little cracks can turn into major problems.
Exactly. And Voss highlights the importance of paying attention to those subtle shifts.
In communication. In intimacy.
In our shared goals.
Right, because those are the things that can drift over time.
And before you know it, you're on completely different pages.
Exactly.
And that's where Voss's 4-step relationship CPR comes in.
Okay, tell me more about that.
It's all about creating that safe space for open and honest communication.
Which can be hard.
It can be, but it's crucial.
So you can actually address those underlying issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And work together to find solutions.
It's about being proactive.
Absolutely.
And I love how Voss's background really informs his approach.
It does, right? From crisis intervention to energy healing to social work.
It's a unique combination.
It is.
Yeah.
But it speaks to his deep understanding of human connection.
Yeah, and the complexities of relationships.
Because relationships are messy.
They are.
They're complicated.
But they're also so rewarding.
Absolutely, when you put in the effort.
Exactly. Speaking of effort.
Let's talk about Scott Baker and social proof.
Oh yeah. His 4-step process for leveraging testimonials is pure gold.
It's so simple, yet so effective.
It is. And I love how he emphasizes identifying those hidden gems.
The gold nuggets within your customer reviews.
Yes, exactly, because it's not just about those generic 5-star ratings.
Well, one reads those anyway.
Exactly. It's about finding those specific phrases, those anecdotes.
It really capture the essence of what you offer.
Yes. And then using those to shape your brand message.
Exactly. You're letting your customers do the talking for you.
Because no one's a better advocate for your business than a happy customer.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then you got to amplify those voices.
Get those testimonials out there.
Everywhere. On your website, on social media.
In your email marketing.
Exactly.
Make it impossible for people to ignore the amazing things your customers are saying about you.
Exactly. You're turning customer feedback into a powerful marketing asset.
It's brilliant. Okay, switching gears again.
Let's talk property.
Rob Flux,
the master of manufacturing profit.
I love his approach because it's so different from that traditional buy and hold strategy.
It is. He's all about taking control.
Creating your own opportunities.
Exactly. So instead of just waiting for the market to go up.
Which can take forever.
Right. And you have no control over it.
Flux says, why not add value yourself?
Through renovations, subdivisions, multi-residential projects.
You're actively creating that profit.
Exactly. You're not relying on luck.
And he's a big advocate for starting small.
Dipping your toes in the water.
Exactly.
Learning the ropes.
And then gradually scaling up.
As you gain experience and confidence.
Precisely.
And I love how he emphasizes the importance of market research.
Data is king.
It's not just about gut feeling.
No way. You got to do your homework.
Look at the numbers.
Identify those areas where similar developments have already been successful.
So you're minimizing risk.
Exactly.
I love it. And his property development formula, that really spoke to me.
It's a great resource, right?
Yeah.
It breaks down the entire process.
Step by step.
From identifying profitable opportunities.
To conducting due diligence.
To navigating financing and construction.
It's all there.
Okay, so for anyone who's ever felt intimidated by property development.
This is your guide.
Flux makes it feel doable.
Exactly. He breaks down into manageable steps.
Okay, so we've talked about property.
We've talked about testimonials.
We've talked about relationships.
What's left?
How about partnerships?
Pauline Martin Brooks, the partnerships queen.
She's amazing. I love how she emphasizes that partnerships are about so much more than just transactions.
It's about building genuine relationships.
Based on shared value?
Complementary offerings.
A true win-win.
Exactly.
And I love her advice on creating a lead magnet funnel.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's about positioning yourself as the go-to person in your industry.
Exactly. You become a magnet for the right opportunities.
So you're not out there chasing people down.
Nope. They come to you.
Because they see the value you offer.
Precisely.
And I appreciate her honesty about free consultations.
Oh yeah, she's not a fan.
She says they're not scalable.
And they often undervalue your expertise.
Exactly. Your time and knowledge are valuable.
Don't give them away for free.
I love that. It's about shifting from a scarcity mindset
to an abundance mindset.
And speaking of abundance,
Jane Flacksmith.
Her story is just incredible.
From coal mines to multi-award-winning entrepreneur.
It's mind-blowing. It really shows that anything is possible.
If you set your mind to it.
And you're willing to put in the work.
And overcome challenges.
Because her journey was not easy.
Yeah. No way. She faced so much adversity. Starting her career as one of the first women to work in underground coal mines.
Talk about a tough industry.
Doesn't get much tougher.
And she faced so much bias.
Gender bias, challenging work conditions.
But she persevered.
She's a true inspiration.
She is. And you know what I find really inspiring about her story?
What's that?
It's her evolution.
From focusing solely on financial success
to embracing this more holistic approach.
Right.
That includes personal growth, spiritual development, and what she calls the science of success.
Because true success isn't just about money.
It's about so much more.
It's about living a life of purpose.
Making the difference.
Aligning your actions with your values.
Absolutely. Okay, and last but certainly not least.
Martin Renaud.
The AV guru.
He's the best. I love how he pulls back the curtain on this world that most of us take for granted.
I know, we just show up to events and expect everything to work perfectly.
Right, but there's so much that goes on behind the scenes.
And Renaud emphasizes that even the most amazing speaker with the most incredible content
can fall flat if the AV is bad.
Oh, absolutely. It can make or break an event. He tells the story about a speaker who relied on the hotel's sound system.
Oh, no.
And it was a disaster.
Feedback screeching microphone.
People actually walked out.
I don't blame them.
It's like the ultimate nightmare for a speaker.
It is. But Renaud doesn't just point out the potential pitfalls.
He gives us solutions.
Practical advice that we can actually use.
Exactly. And he breaks down those essential components of event AV.
Starting with microphones.
The unsung heroes of events.
They really are.
Yeah.
He talks about the different types.
Headset, lavalier, handheld.
Exactly. And when to use each one for maximum impact.
I had no idea there was so much to it.
Oh yeah, there's a science to it.
And then he dives into lighting design.
Lighting is everything.
It sets the mood, it creates the atmosphere.
Exactly. And he says it's not just about making sure people can see.
Right.
It's about creating ambiance.
Highlighting key moments.
Evoking specific emotions.
Wow, I never thought about it like that.
It's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
He talks about this technique called ballyhoo.
Ballyhoo?
Yeah, it's specifically used to spotlight someone walking onto a stage.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right, it's like this grand entrance.
I love it.
It's all about those little details.
They make a big difference.
Exactly.
And of course, he talks about video production.
Of course, we're in a visual world.
Right, and it's not just about capturing the event itself.
Right, it's about creating shareable content.
Extending the life of the event.
Exactly. You can repurpose that footage for social media, for marketing materials.
It's like getting extra mileage out of your event.
Precisely.
And for those of us who are always on the go.
He talks about portable AV kits.
Oh yeah, those are game changers.
They are. It's like having a professional studio in a suitcase.
Ready to go wherever you go.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
From property, to partnerships, to presence.
And everything in between.
It's been an incredible journey through these diverse perspectives on success.
And well-being.
And creating a life of purpose and impact.
Absolutely.
Okay, back again. So, before we jumped into that last bit, we were talking about consistency.
It is pretty amazing how much it comes up.
Leslie, it's everywhere we turn in these sources.
It's like that secret ingredient.
Totally. Like with Rob Flux and property development, he's all about those consistent efforts, not some get-rich-quick scheme.
Exactly. It's about planning, strategically taking those steps one by one, and scaling up over time.
Right. No jumping in head first unless you know the depth. And that property development formula he lays out, it's like he's holding your hand through the whole thing.
He breaks it down so well. It makes it much less daunting.
Way less.
Right.
And that whole consistency thing pops up again with Pauline Martin Brooks and partnerships.
Oh, yeah. She's all about building those long-term relationships, right?
Totally. Not just quick transactions, but those connections that grow over time because you're both invested.
You're nurturing those partnerships.
Exactly. It's giving me tortoise and the hare vibes. Slow and steady wins the race.
And speaking of long games, Jane Slacksmith's story. Talk about a marathon, not a sprint.
From those coal mines to entrepreneur extraordinaire, it's mind-blowing.
And inspiring, right? It shows that success doesn't always follow a straight line.
Totally. It's okay to switch gears to redefine what success even means to you.
Especially these days when everyone's trying to fit into this one mold of success.
So true. It's about figuring out what truly resonates with you and going for it. And maybe that means tapping into a bit of Timothy Carroll's presence wisdom.
Oh, for sure. Tuning out the noise and focusing on what truly matters.
Right. Being present in each moment instead of constantly chasing the next goalpost.
And Carroll would say that starts with leading yourself first.
Being in control of your own energy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Quieting those mental squirrels.
Oh, I have a whole family of those squirrels living in my head, rent-free.
Me too.
Yeah.
But hey, even just 5 minutes of meditation a day can make a difference.
Baby steps, right?
Right.
Like Carolyn Apostolou always says about self-care.
It's those small, consistent actions that add up.
Totally. It's not about those big, grand gestures.
It's about creating those daily habits that nourish you.
Which ultimately allows you to show up better in every aspect of your life.
For yourself, for your relationships, for your work.
100%. Okay, so we've got to wrap up this deep dive soon, but I want to circle back to Martin Renaud one last time.
Oh, yeah. He's got so much wisdom about creating those impactful events.
And all those little details we often overlook, like that story he told about the speaker relying on the hotel sound system.
Oh, man. That's every speaker's nightmare.
Total disaster. People walked out.
Can you blame them?
It just goes to show how important those technical aspects are.
It's not just about what you say, but how you say it.
And how it's presented.
Exactly. Renaud's all about creating that multi-sensory experience.
Using lighting to set the mood. Making sure the sound is crystal clear so everyone can hear.
And don't forget the power of video.
Oh, yeah. Capture those key moments. Create content that lives on.
Extend the impact of your event.
Exactly. And for those of us who are always on the move, Those portable AV kits he talked about.
Game changers.
Seriously. It's like having a professional studio at your fingertips wherever you go.
So you're always prepared.
Always ready to make an impact. Well, I don't know about you, but my brain is officially full.
Mine too. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
From the ins and outs of the guest speaker world to the power of presence and those strategic partnerships.
And everything in between.
We've explored different facets of success, well-being, building a life of purpose.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. So as we wrap things up, we'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you most from this deep dive?
What one action will you take today to apply these incredible insights?
Remember, knowledge is power, but only when we put it into action.
So take that first step, however small, and start creating the life you envision.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those deep dive conversations flowing.